Oh, come on, not now. Play.
I'm going to try to get 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I'm probably not going to succeed, but I'm going to go all out on TikTok, Instagram, basically every single social media outlet there is, and just work my absolute hardest to try to get as much as I can, just to kind of make up for the lost time. So that's basically where I'm at now. And I'm pretty excited. This is pretty much, I actually did a podcast with someone 2 days ago, or 2 or 3 days ago. So this is actually the last one, I think, before my big launch. So this is pretty interesting. So
yeah. Today worked out really unique for me too. I was checking my phone, and it was 2 years ago today that my family and I attended the trucker protests as part of, taking a stand and actually choosing how to be a real hero here in Canada against all the, I'm sure you know what's going on here in Canada.
I've heard about all that, yeah.
It's pretty ridiculous. And I mean, that's part of my Adventurers Alliance here. And I want the real adventures to assemble. We're not out to avenge anything. But the thing is, I really, really am scared for humanity. And there's so much darkness in the world. And the people need to know that there are good people, good men and women out there who are making a difference, living their passions and living their dreams, and that there is hope for a happy, bright future for each and every one of us. And you don't need to be decked out of your mind on SSRIs and everything else going on. I'm a holistic health coach, and it breaks my heart that in the entheogenic realm, if you haven't heard of that, that's what legalized psychedelics are, magic mushrooms and LSD and dimethyltryptamine and whatnot, MDMA, psychoassisted therapy. Trudeau's lockdowns just killed more people than Hitler. The overdose pricing, I just lost the woman who, okay, you don't know why, that's okay. 9 years ago, I was assaulted in a really vicious attempted murder street assault. My girlfriend at the time saved my life. She overdosed and died a few months ago. 1 month before I graduated from nutrition college as a licensed holistic health coach nutritionist. And I could have saved her from the overdose. I could have saved her from the alcohol and everything else. And the overdose prices here in Canada is ridiculous. If you get magic mushrooms from mycologists and people who grow them to help with the mental health and to help with the physical pain and everything that people are suffering in, it's about $150 a month. If you go through the medical system that was developed by John D. Rockefeller, they charge $5,000 per session. And if you can't afford that, you got Trudeau's maid service, which is the assisted suicide
I've heard about that as well.
That's free to access. But if you wanted to stop your depression and anxiety and your suicidal ruminations, $5,000 a month or per session. It's just, this is why I'm doing what I do. I want the real heroes out there letting people know that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and you can live a happy, healthy life. And you don't need to pay a fortune to do it, and you don't need to go through their broken system.
Yeah. Well, firstly, I'm extremely sorry for your loss. That is really beyond words. I am truly sorry. It's funny you actually mentioned truckers, because my father's actually a trucker himself, so I've been hearing I heard all about those Canada protests with the truckers and everything. And I have also heard about the suicide assist system that they have there, which is evil. I think it's pretty evident that's pretty evil. And yeah, the thing that I've seen to be on my side with the social media is that there's so much propaganda, and there's like this, I think it's honestly a pandemic of just horrific negative content and just garbage that's being spewed online. I see all these people that, they pretend to be influencers. They, want to call themselves influencers because, they think what they're doing is just all living their life. But, when you have people like, porn stars and, all these influence, people that do drugs, people who are, just doing really awful things online, and you're supposed to look up to these people and watch their content, essentially feed their lifestyle, and there's no one really that is doing anything good online. There's no really.
There's you.
Good. You don't really see a good, wholesome story of someone online. You don't really see anyone living their best life. I mean, you can. There are people that are genuinely good who are online, but I feel that they don't get nearly as much coverage and success to people who are reporting the garbage. Because those people are funded. Because I don't know. I think the goal of social media in the end is just to have the most heinous most materialistic lifestyle possible. It doesn't matter whether they're, worshiping God or the devil. It's just, they're out to make themselves rich and successful, and they'll do it any way they can, whether it's by pulling people down with them or, just doing the most insane things to just get some views. I've seen pretty much all of it in the last few years, and another reason why I kind of took a break from social media to kind of figure out, who I want to be as well. I don't want to just be someone who chases the content and views, which I actually found myself doing for a bit in 2020. The fame was pretty overwhelming. When you're 21 and you have all these people, you went from having 100 views on YouTube to now millions. It kind of messes with your head a little bit, and I think I needed to step back to realize, okay, if I'm going to, because I know I can influence people, I know I can have a huge impact on people if I really try, and I think that the time that I've been here, almost, I guess, in an isolation period, has given me time to realize, okay, I want to have a good, positive impact in the world. I want to inspire people. I want to help people. How do I refine my own character in a way that is positive on them and actually, helps them to achieve their own success? Instead of just being successful myself, how do I inspire others too? To be like me. And I think that the time that I've spent here has helped me figure that out. And like you said, you caught me at a really, really, really interesting point in time, because this is right where I started that journey of going all in on social media to try to, show people who I am and how, if you just believe in yourself and follow your dreams and do good for people, there is a positive outcome. It may take a little longer because it's obviously the harder path, but it's much more rewarding in the end. A lot of people, I feel, take the quick and easy path because it brings immediate success and rewards, but it's not necessarily the most moral path. And I've seen the downfall of a lot of influencers that have gone down that path, and it's very sad. We all know who controls the music industry, we all know who controls the media industry, and they have a very tight grip on these people. Now, these influencers, who are all contracted, they're all managed by different media agencies who don't care about them. They just care about what message they're sending out. If they can pay someone $10 grand a month to sit in the room and make really just kind of bad videos all day to keep people watching on their platform, they will. They don't care. And it's really quite sad. These people can talk about God. These people can talk about finding themselves, starting a better path. I've seen a lot of people, for instance, Adon Ross. I've seen his content back and forth across the last year and a half, where he tries to start a better path for himself, and he gets inspired. And then you hear about how a few months later he gets addicted to narcotics, and it's just it's really sad. I feel like there are people who are successful influencers who are on the high up levels of social media, but they can't really move forward with themselves. They can't really turn a new leaf because they're too contracted and too deep into the system. So I think for a brighter side of social media, I think it's going to take some people who are at the bottom, who want to get to the top, but are willing to work as hard as they possibly can, because I feel like the people who are already at the top, it's almost kind of too late for them to turn around because they're too deep into the system. It's almost like Neo in the Matrix. It takes someone who really hasn't been too corrupted by the system to change it. It's kind of a novice, trying to learn everything. Like Neo at the beginning of the Matrix didn't really know what it was, didn't know anything about it. And through the film, you see him kind of like, solve it. And it's like, stops the bullets, and he discovers himself and discovers the reality around him. And in doing so, becomes the main character and the hero. So I feel like it's going to take someone like that to change the game, and I really feel that my purpose is to be a pioneer in that movement. I really feel that that's kind of my place. So in the next few days, I will begin, and I think history will speak for itself. So
it will. And you will speak for it as well. Some good news for you. I just came across within the last 48 hours. Meta, the company that owns all the social media, is under a absolute Jurassically massive lawsuit, class action lawsuit, because of exactly what you just said, and you nailed it. It's psychologically designed to be harmful and addictive, specifically and targeted to minors.
Yep, there you go.
And the world sees it for what it is.
Yeah.
And the other thing, with the social programming, heroes. IronMan, drunken alcoholic, how it started, right? The hero's journey. Charlie Cox is Daredevil. Like, probably, uniquely, mentally, the most sound and psychologically fit of all the heroes that are out there. Surpassing probably Superman and Batman, but if you look at his fridge, if you watch the show, what's in his fridge? It's empty. Beer. Jessica Jones, chronic alcoholic. Dick Tracy was based off Elliot Ness's fight with Al Capone against the alcohol industry.
Really? Wow.
There's real heroes out there, but the social programming that's designed to make children vicious. Even not biologically my son, my girl, that's not his kid. He loves Spider-Man. His goal is kind of like yours. He wants Ruby played by my daughter. She wants to be Sailor Scout Guardian from Sailor Moon. She wants the Diamond play button. Everybody's going for the play button. It'd actually be cool if once you're getting a little bit popular, if I could get you to at least appear as a guest star on Venom Smiles' channel. That would help him get his Ruby play button. But going forward, the video games, and even watching the cartoon Justice League, it's Superman. He can show up and use his pinky finger and subdue anybody. What do? He shows up and starts punching. And then when you shut the video games off on the kids and the dopamine center pops, and all the biological stuff that goes on that causes the emotional havoc and turmoil. Next thing you know, he thinks he's in a boss fight. And he's doing exactly what he's seen on TV. He's punching, he's kicking. He doesn't know any better. He does now. He's turning 8. When he was 5, that was pretty vicious. And, both kids that watch the YouTube stuff, one pops up, Rainbow Friends, and Huggy Wuggy, and Poppy's Playtime, and all these child-friendly, rated R, psychological terrors. The whole genre of Netflix and video games is all based off of the apocalypse and the end of the world and demons. Because it's the psychological aspect that if you look at the media and the news, and right back to the newspaper, why do you guys report only the bad stuff? Well, the bad stuff gets the links. It's just like what Meta did. The negative is psychologically targeting humanity and people and children. And you get the dopamine hit from all the blue light stimulation and the bright, vibrant color pops. Remember Avatar when it came out? Not the airbender, but the blue people. You remember the suicide rate that jacked up forest, back in the forest. Anyway, but yeah, all these people developed severe depression after seeing Avatar, because they come home to these dark, drab lives, and they look on the news, and it's the donut of the month. Every month going back to swine flu, mad cow disease, cholera, bullshit.
Yeah.
But I gotta be careful, because they'll actually cut my feet if I'm too accurate with what I'm saying in the chronological order of how that happened too. And it's psychologically causing the need for the maid service. It's a population control thing. I don't want to get into the conspiracy stuff here about wanting to keep a hero and populate happy. Keep that right, vibrant pop where people are crying and people are dying. And it has to stop. I'm not letting my kids grow up in this world.
Yep.
I'm gonna do something to save it or change it, or I'm gonna friggin' damn well die trying.
Yep.
Somebody already tried to kill me. That's part of my own recovery journey. It's how I became a holistic health coach. I came to the point where I had amnesia for like 6 years.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't use a pencil, I couldn't write, I couldn't read. I got my best friend who's a holistic health coach, Reiki practitioner, and she loved the crap out of me, nurtured me back to health, creating a manuscript for me today. So, it's that part of my passion behind this. This is why I want to connect with you, the people like yourself, the people who are
Like it.
the heroes who are influencing heroes to be heroes, because no matter how I look at it, or spin of linguistics, you're still a hero's hero. And it doesn't matter if you're starting on day one.
Yeah.
You know, you're not starting on day one. You're, what do you say, 8 years self-taught?
About 12.
12 years self-taught, yeah. You want that passion, that drive. Getting more into the, I'll jump into a little bit of a positive spin here. I'm curious, have you considered, once you're done with the IronMan suits, would you span out into, Fallout, the Brotherhood of Steel, the big armor suits too? Have you ever seen those?
So, I have seen those, and I actually know someone who actually specializes in building those. Ironically, it's actually the UMA, the biggest association that I created in 2020. I think his name is Ray Matthews. Really awesome dude. I think he's in his 60s, but he's incredibly talented in robotics and exosuit builds. He's actually one of the only other people I know who does it to the length I do. Yeah, Ray Matthews, awesome dude. But to answer your question, my path is really focused entirely on just making. It's actually gone beyond IronMan, to be honest with you. I have actually created in the last year or two my own character, which will be revealed at some point. I have a whole name, I have a whole story and everything, which I eventually want to get turned into a comic series, because to kind of spin off a little bit, I feel like Disney has, after Infinity War, it's not going anywhere with Marvel. Marvel's kind of gonzo. I think we can all agree on it. It's just not the same, at least. And Star Wars is obviously not the same. You have all these stories that we've had for decades that really have come to an end, and there's a need for new stories that are uplifting, not like some of these shows you see that are just by Netflix, that are just reporting these bad influences. I'm not going to get into it. We know about what they believe in. But there's a need for new shows, there's a need for new stories that will actually inspire the next generation. There's nothing nowadays besides the very, very few influencers who are inspiring the next generations. There's stories I see that are really as just awe-dropping as like Star Wars or Marvel when it first came out. There's no new stories. Nobody's creating things anymore. And it's really sad, and I want to be one of the people create that by first becoming the real deal myself, which will just kind of make it even more real, because as opposed to creating the comics and then eventually becoming the character, I wanted to invert the situation from becoming the character and then creating the comics to show people that you can become something in real life and the story will then be based off of you. which can be true for a lot of people. So that's kind of my plan. I have a whole story, a whole character, which I'll probably spend the rest of my life expanding. I don't see really an end to that. I think it will be kind of a plant that will be, I'll plant it and it will just keep growing into a beautiful tree and it will eventually become a forest. I have a whole name for that enterprise, I have a full name. I've actually planned out most of what I want to do in my life already. Now it's just a matter of taking the leap and actually starting my journey so that way everything else can branch off of it. But yeah, my building will basically, for the rest of my life, be centered around my own style. It's evolved past IronMan. I started working off of IronMan in about 2021. I kind of came to the realization, everyone's already doing Iron Man. That's the thing. A lot of people already build Iron Man suits, and most people 3D print them now, which is cool. I've seen a lot of incredible 3D printed suits, but I want to make mine different, because nobody will really be able to tell whether mine's metal or 3D printed, unless you see it by a person. So yeah, making my own character, my own identity, my own custom suit that the world has never seen before is something that's really been enticing to me. And I will definitely begin that in the next few days. So the story will begin in the next few days. I'm really excited. So
I'm excited too. I'm actually doing something incredibly similar. I'm using Canva and I'm using the little vinyl pop figures. If you look on my wall here, you see some of them. To do my own comic strips. My character, the Scarlet Fox, Master of Fox. You ever play Oblivion?
No, but I have heard of it many, many times. I've had friends who played it.
There's a character in there. He's the Gray Fox, and he's a master thief. He was in a really, this romantic area. It kind of goes with my amnesia and recovery story here too. So I identified with the character. I'm just going to make it a little bit more vibrant. The character himself, Corvus Umbernox, made the mistake. He stole a magic artifact from one of the.
And that's where the battery conked out. That's okay. If you would like to follow the story of the Grey Fox from Oblivion, by all means feel free to. I simply identify with the concept of living almost a decade with amnesia and doing everything I could to get my identity back so I would no longer be known as a stranger to everyone, including myself. That is part 2 of my talk with the TechMaster, and if you have not deduced, due to the nature of some of the stuff we were talking about, politically speaking, they shut his recording down. They did not let his recording record. His screen recording was blanked out for audio. And if I didn't have 20 years of doing this tech stuff and know how to redundantly back up my backed up backups with ridiculous amount of extra cameras and editing tricks and such on and so forth. Again, we have one cell phone recording another cell phone just so we can get this information out to you guys. I'm gonna go upload this on YouTube, and then I'm gonna do another recording. The first time I tried to do it, that battery died again. It's okay. You skipped out on the ending. You didn't miss anything. I was just asking, what the hell did I ask him? If there's gonna be like hydraulic muscle tensions to the suit, if you could like pick up super heavy stuff, perhaps at some point. And I was asking if there was gonna be fall resistance, if you knock yourself off a building, can you cushion your landing in the suit? That's not quite underway yet. So you guys didn't really miss much. However, that was the first, this is the byproduct of the world's supervillains trying to silence the world's first Justice League and Adventurers Assemble Alliance as we're joining together to stand up to corruption and everything else that is going on. This has been another public service announcement brought to you in part by someone who does not obey, never entice anyone. I am done, eh? Love you guys.